Greetings and welcome to the Halloween edition of the Sliders Review. And I'm here today to talk to you about Sorority Row, the 2009 slasher movie, which is a reimagining of the 1982 slasher, The House on Sorority Row. Now, I've never seen The House on Sorority Row. I've only seen this one. And I think I saw this on YouTube and everything. There was a point in time where I decided, you know what, I'm gonna break my Halloween tradition and I'm just going to watch a bunch of movies I've never heard of before. And so I was looking on YouTube because, you know, back then you could find almost anything on YouTube and stuff. And so I found this movie. Now, let me say this right here, right now. This movie is not great. It's barely good. It's only decent. It's only all right. This movie is somewhat bad. However, there are enough good things in this movie in the beginning to where it's kind of like, all right, I can like, you know, close my eyes and ears to like the bad stuff of the movie that makes it so cringe. This movie does get cringe. Now, about a year and a half ago, maybe a year, I was reviewing I Know What You Did Last Summer, the television series. And I said, that show is crap. I stand by that. But I also said, you know what? There are times where something so bad is actually pretty funny good. This is that movie I was talking about. I finally now get to talk about it. It's like the bad parts in it are so cringy funny. You can't help but to laugh and be like, oh, it's so funny, it's good. Kind of like Sharknado type thing, you know? But when it gets cringy, my God, it gets cringy and everything. Like, I have no idea what the writer or the director was thinking. Pretty much, the first two halves of this movie are actually pretty decent, pretty good. You can feel the vibe and everything. It is until you get to that last and final act, then things fall apart big time. And then you stop and you ask yourself, what the freak nuts were they smoking when they wrote that third act? It's to the point where, because here's the thing, the acting in this movie is hit or miss. Some do a good job, some do a bad job, and some just need some acting lessons. And so even the people who were good or just all right turned out to be terrible in that third act. Is basically they gave up. They didn't care no more. They was just having fun with the role. And it's pretty sad that that's how they had to get to that point, because the third act is so bizarrely cringe. You ask yourself, what were they thinking? Like, this picture is basically they're doing a walk of empowerment, kind of like Charlie's Angel type of thing. And this is at the ending of the movie when the killer is dead, a bunch of other people are dead, and they're just walking out and everything as the cops are coming. And I'm just kind of like, when did this turn into Charlie's Angels, the movie? Like, seriously, it was so cringe. I was just like, what in the world? But the thing with this movie is, they wanted this to be a hot girl movie where there's an actual legit slasher. And so, even though there are some cool horror moments, like there's some good kills in this. That's one of the reasons why I can accept this movie and give it a pass. The kills are pretty cool. The weapon is inventive. And, you know, it's pretty neat how the killer kills people and stuff. And so, like, I like that. But then you get the stuff like this when they try to make everybody into, I get it, they're sorority girl. Every girl's like a hot girl. They're either like dumb or they're like smart but mean, rude. And it's just kind of like, they need to focus on one thing. And, you know, I get they wanted the hot girl thing because they're sorority girls. But, you know, it's just sometimes you have to think logically and everything. You just can't do stuff, you know. You got to keep to the formula and everything. And that's where they missed the mark badly in this movie. It's even to the point where the legendary Carrie Fisher is in this movie. She's barely in this movie. In the first part of this movie, she's only there for like a minute and a half. and then she disappears for the rest of the movie. That minute and a half was the best acting she did in the entire movie, because she shows back up in the third act. And like I said before, when you get to the third act, everybody just said, screw this, I'm just gonna have fun with it. And that's basically what she did. And Carrie Fisher is a good actress and everything, and to the point where she had to just be like, hey, whatever and everything. That's pretty sad and everything, you know. That's how bad this movie was. Nobody cared about the third act and stuff. And may she rest in peace. God, that was so tragic when she died. And then her mom, Debbie Reynolds, like, you know, she died of a broken heart, because the very day after Carrie passed away, Deborah, her mother, died from a heart attack. She died from a broken heart. I mean, my God, you know? And if you don't know who Debbie Reynolds is, she was like in Singing in the Rain. She done a bunch of other movies. She was in the Halloween Town movies, you know? Ah, so tragic. You know who Carrie Fisher is. Star Wars. Come on now. So this movie stars a bunch of people. Some I didn't know of. Now I know of them. Actually, tell you the truth, I didn't know who none of these people were before this movie, to tell you the truth, except for one girl, the girl who plays Chugs. Margot Harshman from Even Stevens and stuff. And so basically you have a hodgepodge of like actors. You have a former Disney star. You have two former reality stars. Actually, one's probably current now to this day. I don't know what the world she's doing. And then you have one dude who's from Pretty Little Liars. And then you have legendary Carrie Fisher. And then you got a bunch of other people who's just starting out. And so the acting is very hit or miss in this movie. Oh wait, and you also have a person who's the daughter of two famous people. And so, you know, it stars Adriana Patridge, Brianna Evigan, Leah Pips, Rumor Willis, Jamie Chug, Margot Harshman, and let's see, he doesn't matter. And so, like, oh, and also Caroline Delamore. And so, like, yeah, it's just like, even in the first two halves, like, their acting is still hit or miss. Like, some people are good, some people aren't. I know Jamie Chugg, she did reality TV before she ever started acting. She did 2 reality shows, then she started acting. Margot is from like Disney Channel. Rumor Willis is related to Bruce Willis and Demi Moore. Audrey Rihanna, I can't say Audrina or whatever her name is. She's some reality star. Like, I don't know why they put reality stars in this crap and stuff. And so the other people are just like somewhat new, trying to start off and stuff like that. And so, like, you know, it's kind of hard to really invest in this movie when the acting's like off and everything. Nothing against like Rumor Willis, because I do like Rumor and everything. I liked her for like a long time. I saw her in another sorority movie. She was all right in that. But I loved her on Dancing with the Stars and everything. She's a great model. But you know, it's kind of like, just because your parents are like really famous at acting, don't mean like you can follow in their footsteps. Like, don't have them teach you. Like, go to acting school, you know, and learn the craft from like somebody else. Because when you learn from your parents, you don't always learn, you know what I'm saying? And Lena Pips, she was all right in this. A lot of people really enjoyed her. At least I think that's who I'm thinking about. Let me look this up online. But the actress Brianna, who plays Cassidy, like, a lot of people really enjoy her and stuff. They say her acting was really good. There was a couple of them that acting was pretty good. Marco was actually pretty good in this. Like, it's the sad thing is, like, when you come from Disney Channel, a lot of them stars try to like branch off into more seductive, raunchier type stuff, and that's how her character was, drugs and sultry and stuff, and it just never works out the way they hope it does, you know, and stuff. And so one thing that's interesting is the killer motive. It's not revenge, you know, and that's saying a lot, because most slashers are like revenge movies or something like that. the motive is actually pretty interesting, but it's kind of like come on, like why would you do that? But then it's kind of like, okay, that's kind of interesting. It's new, like it's fresh. You know what I'm saying? And I get they want to do the whole college setting and everything, so they can get away with all the sex and drugs and stuff like that in the movie. And so, like, and there are some good scenes, like I said before, like the mine shaft thing that they go into. That's really cool. The whole who is the killer thing, and is the dead person really dead? You know what I'm saying? Those made for some really good stuff. And each girl is like different. So that's another good thing. So like I said before, it's not like terrible, you know what I'm saying? It's just not all that particularly good and stuff. I mean, it's all right. And there is nudity in here. There's a female who's nude. The guy, I'm not sure if he's nude or not. They might show his butt cheeks, but if he is, then at least they have both a male and female nude and not just like one person. I hate when like they do that. So what exactly is this movie about? You're probably wondering and stuff. Well, the movie is about a bunch of sorority girls. And so they're throwing one of their like legendary parties and stuff like that. And so one of the girls decides they're gonna prank Chugs' like brother, right? He dated this one sorority girl named Megan, and he cheated on her. So like they're gonna prank him and everything like that. So in the movie, he's supposed to give her like drugs or something like that, and like roofies or something. It's so stupid. Like I said before, sometimes the writing just isn't great in this thing. So then she like start convulsing and everything. She's choking and she ODs. He's freaked out. He thinks he killed her. Of course, they're pulling a prank on him and stuff. And so he tells them like, so they're all like, oh my God, like what did you do? And he's all like, I gave him the pills that you gave me. And so like, oh crap, this is gonna lead back to me. So what do we do? And so the main sorority girl, I forgot her name. I think she's the one played by Leah Jessica. She's all like, well, there's only one thing left to do, and we're gonna have to get rid of the body and everything because I'm not going to jail, and we're gonna need some good lawyers and stuff. And so like they head out to like an abandoned like junk garage type mine shaft type place. There's stuff everywhere, and they're all still pranking him. By the way, they're recording this on their cell phone, the old-fashioned flip phones. So they're recording this and stuff, right? And so they dropped the phone and they're recording. So he's still freaking out, and they're all like, all right, this is going good, and we need to find like something to pretend to dump her body in, right? Like the mine shaft type thing. Well, somebody says, oh wait, we can't dump her in there because there's water down in there. Or maybe it's a well, I can't remember. So we're gonna have to put holes in her body so she won't float to the top, and so she will sink. And so while they're giggling and laughing, next thing you know, you hear screams. He finds a tire iron with like a and he starts like stabbing her over and over. And then he's freaking out because he's all like, well, hold up, you're alive? And so like he wants to know what's going on. They're all freaking out. They're like, why did you like stab her? He's all like, because you told me to, so she wouldn't float and everything. And so now the girls know they're in some serious trouble. Like they are all part of this prank and everything. And so Jessica, she's all like, I'm not going to jail for this dude. He's the one who stabbed her and all this other stuff and blah blah blah. And I'm dating a boyfriend, and his father's like trying to be like a senator or is a senator and stuff like that. So she can't like screw this up. And Chugs is all like, there's no way my brother's going to jail for a stupid prank that was your idea and everything. So they don't know what they're gonna do. And so like then they decide, well, you know what? Nobody else knows this is a prank but us. Nobody knows we left. I say we just dump the body down the little mine shaft well type thing. And so like whatchamacallem? what's her name again? What did I say the main girl name is again? I forgot. It is Cassidy and everything. And so Cassidy is kind of like, I don't want to do this and everything. We need to just go to the cops. And she's trying to convince the other girl, but the other girl's like, nope, we're taking a vote and all this other crap. And so like Ellie is the like skittish one, the scaredy cat one and stuff. And so she's all like, it's not too late and everything. We can just go to the cops. But she's like, oh crap, my cell phone battery's dying. So she's trying to find cell reception. When she comes back, next thing you know, they dumped the body down there. And so she's pissed. She's all like, why did y'all do this? And they're like, well, we came up with a vote and everything. And she's all like, she's like, I'm not going along with this. The brother then pulls the tire iron on her and like, you're going to go along with this. And they're taking a very crazy look. And they tell her, you have to go along with it because we wrapped her in your like jacket and everything. So if the cops find the body and everything, they're going to find her wrapped in your jacket. And we're going to say that you're the one who did this and everything. So they're literally going to put the blame all on her. Even Ellie went along with it because Ellie is pissed scared. That's the Rumor Willis character. So, needless to say, this ends the friendship with Cassidy. Cassidy doesn't even want to be part of the sorority anymore, but she's still in it. She can't get out because it would raise too many questions. So, of course, they take the vow of not telling nobody. I know what you did last summer. And so, I like this setup and everything. It's this dark secret that's going to come back and bite them in the butt. A year later, people can't find the sorority girl. They assume she just like wandered off or something like that. And so Cassidy doesn't even talk to the other sorority girls, even though she's still in there. She doesn't even talk to Ellie. But towards the end of like whatever their term is, they start to like rekindle just like a little bit, The new girls are coming for like Rush and stuff. And one of them is Megan's sister and everything. And Megan's sister, they say looks just like Megan, but I don't think she does. So Ellie sees the sister at like a glance far away, think it's the dead Megan girl, and screams like an idiot. So they're all like, great, we need to calm her down for everybody. Like, like start to wonder what the world's going on. So Maggie is the sister, and Maggie's trying to pretend to be nice and everything. But then it's kind of like she knows something weird is up, but she don't know exactly what. So then all of a sudden, this is when crap hits the fan. They all get text. The text is like the video of them, like, throwing the girl down the well and everything else. So they're all like, well, who the heck sent this? So it's kind of like, I know what you did last summer. So they're being stalked by somebody. Somebody wants revenge, but they don't know who. They think it's Maggie or, and stuff, or better yet, they think it's Chug's brother, but Chug's all like, my brother would never do that, blah blah, stuff like that. Well, when we get to Chug's brother, he is in a bad shape. He's on drugs now. He's like, very out of it and stuff. And so, of course, what happens? The killing starts happening. Chugs, who's like the slutty one, she is banging her teacher, and so she wants to get like drunk and everything, and her death was amazing. She's drinking, like, they took her death and they put it in that Freaky movie. So her death is she's drinking like a bottle of alcohol, and it has a very slender like shaft and everything. As she's like, kind of like laying back in the chair, the killer shoves the bottle down in her throat. It's stuck in her throat. Then he takes a modified tire iron and he just whacks it in her throat. And it cracks the glass. No, it cracked. No, he cracks. Oh, I can't talk. He cracks the glass and it cuts inside her throat. You see blood bubbling up into like the glass. It's an amazing kill for a slasher movie. So she is the first to go, and nobody else knows and stuff. Now, the weapon, the tire iron. The killer pimps it out all different kind of ways and does amazing things with it. Now, Chugs' brother, his wrists are slit. I don't know if the killer did it or he did it or what. I can't remember. And so pretty much the movie just, carries on. And like, the girls are now together and they're trying to figure out who did this. And they think, well, what could it be? Megan? Is she still alive? They're like, how? We saw her dead. So they go back out to that mine shaft place. And they're all like, all right, somebody go down there and like, go look. And they're like, no way. And so they force um Cassidy to go down there. And so when they're going down there and stuff, oh no, wait. Chug's brother ain't dead yet. My bad. My bad. He ain't dead yet. I just now I'm doing this relying on memory and stuff. I just now remember he's still alive. He got the text message too. They thought he sent the text to them. So when they're sending, Cassidy down there, she goes down there and I think there is no body down there and stuff. She comes back up and like, well, maybe it is a dead body. I can't remember. Like, it's been a long time since I saw this and stuff. And so when they come back up, he's there now and he's frantic, acting crazy. He does have cuts on his wrist because he's been trying to like, off himself for about a year now, but hasn't like, done it. So he's freaking out. It's all like, what is this? Like, and all this other crap. And why are you sending me these texts and all this other stuff? So they thought it was him, but he thinks it's them. Well, Jessica's in the car and she runs him over, killing him and stuff. And so, like, they now think he's dead and stuff. And so now they're at the point where they're all like, this is getting too crazy and everything. And what are we going to do? But oh no, we have rush week and there's like a party tonight and all this other crap. And so basically they have their party and Jessica's like, like, screw this. Heading on out of here and y'all can deal with this crap. So basically her boyfriend's father, who's like that senator dude, does not like her. He doesn't think she's rich enough and all this other crap. So at some point in time, this is when, like I said, the movie starts to get really stupid and really crappy. Oh, I forgot to mention, Cassidy has a boyfriend. He's barely in the movie. So Jessica sees her boyfriend. He cheats on her with Maggie. Maggie's all like, this is revenge and blah, blah, blah. And so this is when the movie just gets really, really, really stupid, cringy. The dialogue's bad, everything like that. Carrie Fisher's character, who is actually like the house mother type person in a sorority, she comes in, she punches like, Jessica, because there's a bunch of people from the party that's dying and stuff like that. And so she's all like, what'd you hit me for? Blah, 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 I don't know, stuff like that. So it just gets really stupid. And we have a Carrie Fisher character roaming through the house with a rifle in her hand and still ends up missing the killer. And the killer gets her. And this is when the movie gets so cringy. So then it's like there's a fire breaks out through the house. The killer's like killing people left and right. And so like eventually he does end up killing Jessica. And flames are everywhere. And he kills Chugs. Chugs really has no like real true anything in this movie. Not Chugs. Oh god, I'm getting her name messed up. Jamie's character. What's her name? Her character name is Claire. Claire really doesn't do much in this movie. She's just the hot girl with the hot boyfriend and all this other crap. And she dies kind of like, cause like the pool like overheated, or the jacuzzi or whatever, and like bubbles went everywhere, so she's roaming through bubbles and she's like, it's okay, I have a weapon. She has a flare gun. Well, the killer ends up killing her and the flare is sticking out her mouth. And so with more and more bad dialogue coming and everything like that, they think Megan's alive and all this other crap. And then so the killer at some point is finally revealed. Ellie is hiding in the room because she's so scared and stuff like that. Jessica and Cassidy see who the killer is. It's Cassidy's boyfriend. And so the question is, why? Why is he killing all these people and stuff? Well, he wants no loose ends. See, Cassidy told him see, they were supposed to keep everything secret, but everybody spilled the beans pretty much. Jessica spilled the beans to her boyfriend. That's one reason why the dad does not like her. Cassidy, I think, told her boyfriend, and then Ellie told Cassidy's boyfriend. And so he's all like, look, babe, I'm just looking out for you and everything. Like, I want you to like graduate from school. I don't want you to go to jail, and stuff like that. So the best way for you not to end up in jail is to kill all the people who know about this. So no loose ends and everything. Somewhat different and clever, so I'll give them that. And so he kills Jessica. Maggie is somewhere in the house looking for her dead sister because they said, "Oh yeah, your sister's alive and she's killing us," and stuff like that. So she's roaming through the house and everything, and he's all like, "Oh, we only got one more person to kill, and that's Ellie, because she has a big mouth because she told me and everything." So they're looking for Ellie, and then once they get near there, Cassidy screams for Ellie to run. He knows now his girlfriend has betrayed him. He's trying to kill his girlfriend. The whole building's on fire. It's really intense. She falls down a hole while there's fire everywhere. Somehow he ends up dying. I think Ellie hits him or something like that. And so Ellie has finally gained the backbone. And so Maggie's in the house and she's in basically like her bra and underwear and and like a shirt. And so they tell her to jump over the fire and they do. They leave the house and then it's when they have their walk of empowerment. And it's so cringy and everything like that. The third act is just terrible. but but then we get a post-end credit scene where Maggie is now like, part of that sorority and they're rushing and there's a gardener. And the gardener shows up with like a tool in his hand. We don't know who it is. We just see his wrist and there's cuts on the wrist. It's Chug's brother. He survived getting hit by the car over and over. So now he wants revenge on the sorority. Problem is the only two survivors of that night have already graduated and everything. So this was meant to set up a sequel, but as you can tell, there was never no sequel after this because it did so bad and so many negative reviews that they just said, screw it and everything. So it's just one of those movies that is not particularly terrible, but it's not particularly good either. It's just barely all right and stuff, Like I said, there are some good moments and there's a lot of bad moments. But those good moments do make up for a good portion of like the movie, That wasn't that spooky. Alright, well, I shall talk to y'all later. Bye.